Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Giver. We're doing a solo again today. You're stuck with just me. And I also we both took a week off last week. It was glorious. Anyone who's from Canada or from areas that have winter and get really cold in the winter, the summer is such a vacation time for us. I find especially August is when people take time off. They go to the cottage, they decompress, enjoy the weather. I love the weather in Canada in the summer. Honestly, I love the weather in Canada most of the time. I prefer it to places like Florida. I'm a seasons girl. I love the seasons changing. I love winter, but by the end of it, I am getting a little bit depressed. I'm missing sun. I don't like that things feel so dirty. I don't like that I have to clean off my car if I want to go somewhere, especially early in the morning. But I truly believe that you kind of have to have these more difficult times to really appreciate the good. So, all that being said, it's summer here and we took a week off last week. Christopher was down from Florida. So, we actually went and stayed at my parents' house. Ian was in Toronto training with Mike Van Wyck, Wicked Training, which was amazing. I'm so glad he did that. He was training at Pure, which is by far the best gym in Canada. And it's driving distance from us, which is really nice. But while he was there, I decided to just spend the week in Kingston with my parents. They have a house on the lake. And so it was Christopher, me, and mom and dad. And it was kind of nice just being the four of us. We don't do that ever. So it was a really good time to kind of decompress. We worked a little bit, but not too much. There was some physical labor, as there always is at mom and dad's, but it was fun. I really enjoyed it. And I'm happy to be home and I'm happy to be back here with you guys. I missed you. I would be remiss if I did not discuss the last episode that I did and the reaction that I received. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It will provide more context to this conversation. But I knew I was eventually going to share kind of my journey with therapy and myself right now in terms of letting go of this guarded, hard person that I've been for so long. But I didn't think it was going to be so soon. And I definitely didn't think that people would resonate with it like they did. Now that I think about it, it makes sense because my platform is kind of based on this strong woman, right? I train, I competed, I train with the boys, I'm very strong, muscular. You attract what you put out there. So I'm assuming that the people that have followed me for a while and that have kind of stuck around relate to that side of me. And maybe they relate also to this journey in terms of letting go of that hard exterior and leaning into my true self and leaning into love. So yeah, the responses, the comments that I got, the DMs that I got were very emotional for me to read and to experience because I think when you're first of all, this is very new to me, so I'm kind of confused about it. I don't feel like I can speak super powerfully to the journey, but I was talking to my therapist Jordan about the episode and she was saying it has to be kind of a messy explanation and a vulnerable explanation because that's the whole point. This doesn't need to be a scripted, I'm fine, I've figured it all out now and I'm at the other side of this. It's more the point of embracing the vulnerability and the messiness and loving it. So yeah, I'm really, really thankful. And it was really, quite frankly, validating to read all the people that resonated with it and that are supporting me. It's unreal. I don't know. I don't think it will ever not be surreal that people that I don't know personally are so invested and so supportive of me. It's really, really special. So I appreciate you guys so much. And everyone that wrote in, I read every single message and I felt every single message. And I can't even express my gratitude. So thank you so much. I put up a question box a few days ago because I've I've kind of entered this new era where I actually like give a fuck about what I'm putting in my body, what I'm putting on my skin. And that's probably comes with entering my 30s, right? I'm 32 now, turning 33, and you're starting to think about you're not invincible. It's like when I was in my 20s, I just remember like living so fast, drinking, partying, and then I went into my competing era and I would just compete all year and just like not really think about consequences. And then you get older, you start thinking about starting a family, you start thinking about aging, you see your parents aging, and it's that little bit of reality check. So I was scrolling Instagram a few weeks ago and I saw Dr. Khan had put up a video discussing stem cell treatments. And Christopher has done this before for improving like muscle tears, things like that for performance, basically in the gym. But Dr. Khan in this video was talking about stem cells being injected in the face for aesthetic purposes. And he was explaining that it kind of helps regenerate cells and it's very anti-aging and that Botox is great. I'll get into this because I think even some questions, I don't even think people understand the difference between Botox and filler and what Botox is. But Botox is used for an anti-aging treatment on people, specifically preventative. So Botox is great, but you do have to do it it depends on your body, how fast you metabolize the toxin, but probably every 3 to 6 months. If you work out, if you have a high metabolism, if you have a lot of muscle, it's not going to last as long in your body. It's also a toxin that you're injecting in your face, and it's a very new procedure. So we don't really know like longitudinal studies, how it affects us at a cellular level, all this kind of stuff. There's also a risk of muscles atrophying because what Botox does is it blocks the receptors at your muscles in your face so you can't move. That's why we see frozen faces, and by not moving we prevent those deep lines from settling in our skin as we age. But there's also a risk that if you're paralyzing that muscle for an extended period of time, that it's going to atrophy. And what happens when muscles atrophy, things start to kind of fall and droop. So I before I saw this video on Dr. Khan's Instagram, go to his Instagram and follow him. He posts so many amazing reels that are very informative. But I had started kind of seeing all this information about like, is Botox really that great? Do you need to start it when you're so young? Is it helpful or is it going to be detrimental by the time that you're 50? And I had really been thinking about it. And then I saw his reel and I messaged him right away. I'm like, I want to try this. I want to see what this does for me. So he was like, yeah, come down. Christopher was coming down anyways. So we went together. We actually went with my parents, which was really, really fun. And my dad got some stem cells in his knee. He's had one knee replacement. My dad was a runner when he was young and he's like an active guy. So it's just part of aging, but he's had one knee replacement and he's going to need the other one. But he didn't want to do it before the Olympia because of the recovery. So he's now having stem cells to kind of improve. It's not going to fix a knee that needs to be replaced, but it will help regenerate and help him with pain and movement until he can get the replacement. At least I think that's kind of the game plan. I'm not really sure. I was more like worried about my face. But we went down and dad got stem cells in his knees, one knee. Christopher got stem cells, I think in both knees and maybe his shoulder. And then Christopher and I did the stem cell facial. I think that's what they're calling it, which is essentially microneedling little pinpricks in your face. And while they're doing that, they're injecting stem cells in your face. So we were talking about microneedling a few weeks ago because Courtney had just got it done and she was literally glowing after. But microneedling essentially is causing like micro trauma in your face, and then it's causing your body to produce more collagen in reaction to those traumas. Listen, I should have said this before. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an esthetician. I don't I don't know the ins and outs very deeply about this kind of stuff. I'm just very interested in it. If I'm saying anything wrong, please tell me. I'm not going to be like, I want to know. And always do your own research and talk to professionals for all this kind of stuff. I don't do this to myself. I go see people who are in the field and they do it to me. So the stem cell facial is essentially combining the microneedling, and then at the same time, we're injecting stem cells, which are brand new cells from the umbilical cord. So cells that have not differentiated, they haven't aged, they're fresh basically, and we're injecting them in our face. And that causes kind of a regeneration of our own cells in our face. So they work together. They're natural human things that we already have in our body. They're just brand new. They haven't gone through any aging or any differentiation, and we're getting like fresh cells in our body. So it's very safe. It's this new kind of wave of health and supplementation and all this stuff is very much using what's already in our body, not foreign substances or toxins to help, which I love. So, yes, that is what we did. Christopher has a beard, so he only did the skin that was visible. I think he also did his hairline too, because it is supposed to help with follicle regeneration. And it was kind of intense only because you have to sit there for 20 to 30 minutes, and needles are going in your face all like the whole time, right? So I can handle any type of pain, but it's very easy for me to handle things if I know it's quick. But honestly, 25 minutes is not quick. You kind of have to keep control of your mind and stay calm, which I was able to do. It was not a problem. And the nurse was so confident and fast. It's like when you get a bikini wax and someone's like hesitant, it's the worst. But if someone's confident and they're just like, yep, we're going, yep, halfway done, yep, almost done, you're fine. So it's very similar to Botox. It uses insulin pins, and then they're just like very shallow pricks in your face. I'll put up I don't know, what do you call it when you put, I'm so technologically illiterate. When you put up like a picture in your video, I'll put up a picture of my face right after. I definitely bled more than Christopher, and I definitely had more flaking and like visual trauma, I guess, to my face after than he did. You couldn't even tell he had anything done. It's been about, I think it's been a week today, actually. And I mean, my skin feels great. What I'm looking forward to is the next couple of years. I'm going to not do Botox, and I'm going to see kind of how my skin and how my face is. And that combined, I think, with the new skincare routine and the more intensive skincare routine that I've started now that I'm in my early 30s, I think it'll help a lot. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, please ask me. You can also go to Dr. Khan's Instagram and ask him, check it out. He's amazing. He's so smart. And he also looks like he's 22 and he's older than me. So that just goes to show that this shit actually works. He's all about anti-aging and regenerative, I can never say that word, medicine. And it's just really cool to see someone with so much innovation and so much intelligence, like putting things out into the world. So I'm really appreciative that we got to go do that. And it was really fun. It was fun to go with mom and dad, and like, they're dropping us off, and it's just like, I don't know, made you feel like a kid again, which who doesn't like feeling like a kid? So before I get into the questions too, I actually did another thing when I was in Toronto with my mom. We went to go see a plastic surgeon for I'm sure you guys already know what I'm going to say, a consult for a rhinoplasty. So I found this guy on Instagram, and then I went online and I kind of Googled his reputation, and he's known for noses. That might honestly be all he does now. And his work is very natural. So it's not these like tiny little Barbie noses that are trending right now, which honestly really, listen, they're cute, and I think they look really good on certain girls, but like there's something to be said about not having the same nose as everybody else. So it's kind of weird when like body parts start trending. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But anyways, I was drawn to him because the changes in people's faces were not all the same, and they were very minor, subtle, obviously becoming more aesthetic in terms of the shape and the size of the nose, but it wasn't like everyone was getting this same Barbie nose that was like tiny and had a tip that kind of like popped up. I asked my mom to come with me, and of course she she was supportive. She wanted to come, but she also doesn't want me to change my face. She's my mom. And it was kind of the same thing with Ian. Ian was like, listen, it's your choice. Like, you're a grown woman. This is for you. If this is going to make you feel better, then do it. But I like your face the way it is. So I kind of had these things in the back of my mind, and it kind of started making me be like, oh my God, why do I care so much? Like, what is this? What is going on with me right now that I'm like, so like, I've had this nose for 32 years. Like, what is going on with me? So I just wanted to sit down and talk to a doctor and kind of flush it out and maybe get a, a surgery date. I didn't know what was going to happen. So I asked my mom to come with me because I knew that she would be really honest of her opinion, but I also knew that she would support me in whatever I decided. I always feel with my family and my husband that there's no judgment, that they can give their opinions without judgment. And that makes me feel like I can use their opinions to make a decision, but that their opinions aren't going to drive my decision, which I think is very, very important. So we talked to the doctor. He came in and he asked a bunch of questions. He was like, why now? It's been 32 years. And I started thinking about it. And I'm like, well, I've lost a bit of weight. The structure of my face has changed a little bit because I'm not competing anymore. And I do feel like my nose looks really big. I'm also editing a podcast every week. So I have to stare at myself for 60 minutes and go through and listen to myself and go through footage, which I normally never did. I'm not someone that really looks at themselves very much. I don't really take photos of myself. I don't take videos of myself. I I'm really bad at Instagram because of that fact about me. So I was like, maybe it's just because I'm staring at myself so much and I didn't really know what I looked like, especially in video and movement while I'm speaking, while I'm smiling, all this kind of stuff. And he kind of looked at me and he was like, listen, your nose is good. Your nose is great. He's like, I'm telling you, I can see what you're saying in terms of it being a little bit big for your face, especially the tip. And we could do this and they would be very slight changes, but I need to reiterate that the change is not going to be drastic and it is serious surgery. So he told me what the surgery would consist of. He did a little mock up of my face, which I can also put so you guys can see. And I could barely tell a difference. And I left and I looked at my mom and I'm like, this is like too much pressure for me to like look. I don't know what I wanted to look like. You know what I mean? It was too much pressure to be like, I want this fixed now because I need to look at myself and I need to like it. And that's not a reason to do something like this. So I'm very happy that I went. I'm really happy that I went with my mom and it was fun and we had that experience. We were in Toronto anyways. It's kind of like flushed it out and I'm just like, okay, not right now. Like, I'm not saying not never, but not right now for sure. There's a lot of other things going on that I could be investing my money in that are more important for my future. Yeah, things like that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys because I know I've been on here and talking about my nose and you guys are all so nice saying like, your nose is good, your nose is fine. And I know it is. I really, really do. So yeah, that was that. We can probably get into these questions now. I've been rambling it hasn't been that long. It feels so much longer when you're alone. It's when I'm podcasting alone, I'll be talking and I'll be like, oh my God, it's been 50 minutes. And I'll look down and it's been 10. And then when I'm with Courtney, I feel like I can talk for 60 minutes and I feel like it's only been 10 minutes. So I miss her and I'm sure you guys too. And she'll be back very soon. She's just trying to take some time off too. I feel like when you're on social media, like Christopher, Courtney, it's like you're always working and their jobs are so fun and I'm sure they're so blessed, like they feel so blessed and they're so thankful to do it. But like you do kind of feel like you're working almost 24 hours a day. So it's very important to kind of disconnect and live in the real world for a little bit. And people have been saying, "Where's Courtney? Where's Courtney?" And I think it's just important to remember that just because people aren't posting on social media or doing what they normally do on social media, that life can still go on and they can still be enjoying themselves. So, yeah, we wish her well. We miss her. We hope she's enjoying her time off, and I'm sure we'll see her soon. So, let's get into these questions. I was actually surprised how many questions I got. It's a very niche conversation. I didn't know if people really cared because it was on my page, which is, I feel like, I don't know actually. I feel like it used to be very like fitness workout related, but I think it's turned more into this like overall wellness population, like people that care about mental health and being healthy and aging and fertility and skincare and relationships, marriages, things like that, which is really cool because it's just kind of me. It's just very authentic. So I look forward to kind of just like diving into that and kind of sharing recipes, lifestyle, fashion, training, nutrition, skincare, anti aging, hair, like on this crazy curly hair journey. So I'm just stoked and I'm happy that everyone is sticking around and watching my little old life. So, I have them typed because I actually record video on my phone. So I probably should try to organize this a little bit so it makes sense. So a few of you asked about stem cells. I hope I covered that enough already. If you have any other questions, ask me, or honestly, go to Dr. Khan and follow his page. He posts about it all the time. He just posted a video of Christopher getting the actual injections with the ultrasound. They're like guided with the ultrasound, which is really cool. And I don't know. He did take footage of the actual procedure in my face, so hopefully he posts that soon. But I'll link his Instagram in the I don't know, what is it called down there? Description. God. I'm so old and I'm so not, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So let's start from the bottom. Skincare. I believe you can go do all the treatments, all the lasers, all the Botox, all the filler. If you don't have a skincare routine consistent and um like a good one for what you need, none of it's going to matter. It's going to be a waste of money and a waste of time. That being said, I don't think that your skincare routine needs to be 10 steps. I don't think it needs to be complicated. My entire mindset for life is that there's a balance between overthinking things and making yourself more stressed out and more worried and more overwhelmed and more annoyed versus doing what taking care of yourself. So I was for the last like 5 years so overwhelmed with like all this like 10-step Korean skincare, hyaluronic acid, retinol, vitamin C, moisturizer, daily, nightly, peels, AHA, BHA, face wash, like toner, all this stuff. And I was just like, fuck it. I'm just washing my face and putting on moisturizer. And that's really all I did. Then I started going to get monthly facials when I lived outside Miami because it's very accessible. I feel like there's so much good stuff around Miami in terms of aesthetics. And I started to get consistent with a face wash, toner, and then an exfoliant, a chemical exfoliant, not a physical exfoliant. That worked for me, but I fell off. I think when I left Miami, I kind of fell off, and I think I was really just washing my face and putting on moisturizer. I don't even know if I was wearing SPF when I came back to Canada. When I was in Florida, I was wearing SPF on my face. I don't wear SPF on my body. Controversial, hot topic, do what's right for you, whatever. So, yeah, now fast forward, we're here. I think depending on your age, I'm only gonna actually no, sure, I'll talk about younger. I think you should have some sort of face wash. I don't think you need to spend money on a face wash. I think you can use Cetaphil from the drugstore. I would have a vitamin C. I would have a moisturizer. I would have an SPF, and I would have some sort of chemical exfoliant that you use not every day. Now, I'm older, so I just started using retinol, which I don't think is necessary when you're young. I just started it. Okay. I'm going haywire. Let's go to daily skincare. What is your daily skincare? And then someone said, what's your AM routine? What's your PM routine? I'm going to start with PM. It's so funny. Everyone's all about these like morning routines and starting your day right. I am much more into night routines and sleep hygiene. That is like the most important thing in my life. And I believe that's what sets me up for the day, not my morning routine. So I'm going to start with my night routine. So I eat. I try to stop eating around 7:30. Sometimes it gets pushed if we're running around doing things and I'm still hungry and I need to eat more food. But I try to stop eating 7:30. That's about 2 hours before I go to sleep. And I start getting ready for bed usually around 8:30, 9 o'clock. So I eat. I take my nighttime supplements. I've started taking inositol, which is, I'm not even joking you, a game changer. I'm sleeping through the night. I don't even wake up to pee anymore, and I'm feeling so rested. It's like 7:30 right now, and I feel like Energizer Bunny. So I take my supplements, my nighttime supplements. I take inositol. I take my magnesium, and I always take my women's health before bed. All my other supplements I take with my meal one. So that I take those, and then I'm gonna go wash my face. So I use two face washes. I have a glycolic, yeah, cleanser from Jan Marini Skincare. I'll link it. I use that probably 2 to 3 times a week. And then I just have a random basic, I don't even know what the brand is. I'll link it, but it's irrelevant. That's what I'm saying. I think it costs $12 and I use that every other night. Depending on how dry my skin feels. And I just learned how to wash my face and it blew my mind. So, what I do is if I'm wearing SPF or makeup, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a cleansing balm and I'll link it for you guys, and I go all over my face and I just try to get kind of the outer layer of product off of my face. I rinse that off. I dry my face with a paper towel. I've stopped using towels on my face. And to be honest, Courtney's done this her entire life. And I was like, you're crazy. You're crazy. I don't have acne. I don't need to worry about this. And then I saw something on TikTok, bless TikTok, and it was saying that by using kind of dirty towels that are holding probably bacteria from getting wet and just hanging on the door from your shower. It's not just about acne, it's actually about texture too. So I would have a lot of texture here, not really my forehead, but here down, and it's gone away. And I don't know if it's from the products or from not using the towel anymore, but who cares? It's gone. So I dry my face with a paper towel, and yeah, I go through a lot of paper towel. Sorry, I use a new one every night. And then I squeeze my cleanser on my hands and I lather them for a long time. I warm them up until the lather starts to kind of show. And then on dry skin, I kind of massage it into my face. If I need a little bit of water, I'll put a drop and then there's a word for this, emulsify, and then I'll rub again. I kind of massage my face for a long time. It feels good. I kind of enjoy it. I'm really like getting in there, trying to clean my skin. And then I take the paper towel and I wet it and I just wipe it off. So I'm wiping off all that emulsified cleanser, and then I splash my face with water and I kind of pat it dry. I let it stay a bit moist, a bit damp. And then I have I don't even know what it is. It's a serum that I got off Amazon. I'll link it. And then I put the serum on. It's not expensive. It's not like these special anti-aging peptides, whatever people, I don't know what, no, I'm just using, it's moisturizing. That's all I know. I put it on while my skin is damp. I let it sit for a few seconds. I have big eyelashes, so usually I'll dry my eyelashes and brush my eyelashes. And then I use the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast, very thick cream on my face. And I put it on. And then I go to sleep. Once a week, I do retinol instead of the serum before the Cicaplast balm. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But if I'm doing the retinol, I do dry my face completely before I put it on, and I use the tiniest amount and I put it on my face. I did see that if your skin is peeling, you're using too much retinol and you're using it too often. So be very, very careful. My retinol is also prescription. So I don't know. I can link where I got it. I got it off I think it's called Felix. It's a thing in Canada that they do prescriptions for certain things like birth control, retinol. There might be Accutane on there too, but it's just an accessible way for you to get things if you don't have a doctor, or if it's hard for you to get into your doctor, because it is. I don't even know if MDs in Canada prescribe retinol or if you have to go to a derm. But that's my night. And then I go to sleep. I put my hair in my little satin bonnet. I look and I put my glasses on. I put my retainer on. It's very attractive. And then I go to sleep. In the morning, I wake up and all I do is I splash water on my face. Well, first I wash my hands. I splash water on my face. I don't dry it. I kind of just I don't know, with my hands, push the water in, and same kind of idea. I'm just kind of massaging my face, getting the blood flowing. And then while my face is damp, I put on vitamin C, which is again from Jan Marini. I'll link it below. And then I do eye cream. I think I have an eye gel from Versed, which again, I don't think it's that important. I think whatever works for you works for you. I don't think you need to spend hundreds of dollars on a cream that has the same ingredients as something else. And then I have a moisturizer from the drugstore. I think it's like an Elf Cosmetics moisturizer. And I put that on. And then I use an SPF that I actually found through Whitney Simmons. That's a Korean skincare brand. I'll link it below. It's the first SPF that I actually like, that my skin actually looks nicer after putting it on. It's very thin. It's very glowy. It doesn't leave a white cast. And yeah, that's the morning. And I hope that makes sense. I think if you are starting and you want to kind of make a routine, I would do one cleanser, whatever you want. I use kind of websites to check the ingredients. You can also, there's websites that will find dupes for more expensive cleansers. I would do a cleanser. I would do a vitamin C. I would do a moisturizer, and I would do an SPF. And I would start there. Can we talk about medical grade skincare versus drugstore or Sephora? So I think some products are definitely better to buy medical grade. I think something like vitamin C, I would kind of urge you to research that you're actually investing in something that is vitamin C and that's the right concentration, that's not oxidized, that's in the container that's going to keep it from oxidizing. And then there's also exfoliants, chemical exfoliants, which I would also probably no, that's not true. I don't think that has to be medical grade. But if you can afford it and you want to, it's probably easier to trust that what you're getting is actually high quality. But I also know that you can go to the Inky list and get a BHA, and it's probably the same ingredients as something else. I actually just ordered, I think it's Zeo Skincare is how you say it. And they have exfoliating pads. So that's an AHA BHA combination of just pre-moistened pads in a jar. And that really helps with resurfacing and getting rid of dead skin cells. So I just ordered that and I'm going to start doing that again. very slowly. I'll probably start at once a week, work up to twice, and then eventually get up to 3. And I'm never going to go past 3. I don't think you should do chemical exfoliants on your face more than 3 times a week. I feel like sometimes we think like more is better, but your skin doesn't need to be like stripped that often. Improving large pores. I think someone correct me if I'm wrong. The size of your pores is genetic and you have what you're born with. Now, when the pores are clogged, they can appear larger and they're obviously more visible. So, again, I would just go to maybe a chemical exfoliant once a week, twice a week, 3 times a week, and just start to clear out those pores and make sure you are cleansing your face properly every day, especially if you're wearing things like oils or heavy moisturizers or SPF, because that's going to clog your pores. Supplements for skin. I think I don't really believe in supplements for skin. I believe in supplements for helping your hormone balance. And I believe that's how your skin shows up. So we have things like, again, inositol, which is going to help with FSH and LH and balancing those hormones. That also will help if you're having hormonal acne. We have women's health, which is going to help with your estrogen metabolism, progesterone increasing that if that's low, and that's going to help with your skin. So those are the only things that I would suggest if you're having some sort of hormonal acne, or if you feel like your skin is very dry, perhaps from low estrogen, try those 2 supplements. You can also do blood work to kind of see where your hormone levels are at, and that can help a lot too. I did use Accutane when I was younger because I had really bad cystic acne, and it did help. It got rid of it. I used it for a very short period of time after trying so many things, and I'm very thankful for it. Okay, acne scarring. I also had a lot of bad acne scarring in my mid 20s after I kind of cleared up my cystic acne, and microneedling actually helped a lot. So I would try that if you have some. And it wasn't textured scarring. It was like, I don't know, like kind of, it looked like there were like pits, like holes, but it was actually flat. So just the shadowing of the scars made it look like there was like holes in my face. Okay, I'm trying to organize it because I just want to do like skincare, and then I'm going to get into the fun shit. PEDs and skin. I didn't really notice much in terms of my skin when I was competing, when I was using PEDs, but I also didn't use very much. And if I ever did get like a spot, I would freak out usually and like want to stop. But I would honestly, I think if you're having side effects like that when you're using PEDs, I would look at what you're using, and I would probably do blood work because there is a way to kind of use them and not have those negative side effects, right? Okay, makeup while training. I don't really wear makeup in general, so this isn't something that I worry about. If I did wear it every day, like if I went to work and put on makeup, I would take it off before training for sure. I don't want to like sweat and open up my pores and have God knows what on my face and then have it be able to go in to my pores and into my skin. But I also, if I'm out and about and I am wearing makeup and then Ian's like, oh, let's go to the gym right now, I'm not going to freak out. I'll just go train and then make sure I wash my face after. So again, I wouldn't make it a habit, but you're not going to die if you do it once or twice every once in a while. Skincare regrets. I know I probably should say that I wish that I wore SPF when I was younger, but I don't. I don't. Maybe when I'm 40 or when I start to see the effects of my choices, I will regret it. But I'm like a very chill person. I don't like to overthink things. I like the sun. I like the way it feels. I don't want to wear a visor when I'm on the beach. So I don't really have any regrets, to be honest. Let's get into the more procedure side of things, I guess. So the first question is Botox or filler? What do you prefer? Botox and filler, I don't think you can prefer one or the other. They're completely different things. Botox is a neurotoxin, so it's injected into the muscle in your face. Or, I mean, people do it in their armpits to stop the sweat glands, and it blocks the receptor. So the muscle cannot activate anymore. It can't fire. So that's why your forehead doesn't really move, or like people can't really smile because like people will Botox here so they don't get these lines, right? Or their eyes. They'll inject in here so this doesn't move, and then we don't get our crow's feet. I started Botox when I was, oh my God, I 28 maybe, because it was the rage to do preventative Botox. I now don't think that it's necessary. I think it might be a little bit of a waste of money. I think when you start to see that your fine lines are settling and that they're there even when you're at rest, then maybe you can go see an injector and start talking about doing it. But I don't think when you're at an age that when your face is at rest, there are no fine lines that you need to worry about it. Filler is literally injecting, I think it's hyaluronic acid, or there's different brands that use different blends, but you're injecting a substance into your face to fill up an empty space or a space in general. So, people will get it like how I'm like hollow here, kind of. I'm aging, so my face has become a bit more hollow. People will get filler in here. I know people sometimes do filler under their eyes, their temples. People will do it because as we age, our temples go like this, hollows out. Um, I have done filler in my lips. I haven't done it anywhere else. Um, Filler is less. Oh, no, I shouldn't say that. Filler is kind of, it is worrisome because it can migrate, so it doesn't necessarily stay where you put it. But filler can also be dissolved. So it's not, Botox cannot be dissolved. Once it's in there, you need to wait till your body metabolizes it for it to go away. Filler can be dissolved. So I don't know. They're very different. They're not going to give you the same outcome. So whatever your worries are, you need to decide which one that you want to try or which one you want to use. I did lip filler. I did lip filler actually before I did Botox in 2000 and whenever my first Olympia was. So 2017. I did I think I did a full syringe in my lips and I loved them. They were great. And then I think about maybe 2 years later, I met Sandra and I started doing Botox, and she put a little more filler in my lips at that time. Time went on. I went to Florida. I started to have a little bit of migration. So the more filler that you have, the more risk of migration because it's filling up. There's too much to fit in the area. So it might be pushed and moved. So I started to have migration up. So it was kind of like on my top lip above the lip line. And it was creating like a shelf almost. And she actually noticed it and she messaged me on Instagram and she was like, "Oh my God, when are you back? I want to dissolve your lips and redo them." So that was probably maybe about a year ago now. I came back to Canada and she completely dissolved my lips, which was 100% the most painful procedure I've ever had. It is very uncomfortable. There's needles going in your lips. It burns like a bitch. And I would not want to do it again. So she completely dissolved them. I think it took 2 tries. So she puts the dissolver in. I think it's an enzyme. I can't remember what it's called. And then you leave. It it takes about 2 weeks for it to fully work. And then you go back and she checks if there's any more filler that she needs to dissolve. And if there is, she puts in more. Same thing. You come back in 2 weeks. So then I went back and we refilled my lips and I love them. Now that I've lost a bit of weight and my face is small, I do feel like they're quite large. I would like them to go down a little bit, but honestly, I'm kind of just waiting for my body to metabolize it because it's so painful. And I just feel like if I wait, it'll be okay. I hope that answered the difference. Lip filler, how often? I kind of just went over that. It really also depends on your body. Everyone metabolizes filler at a different rate. Um, I just would be wary of overdoing it because you don't want to look crazy. And I think it's really easy to do it and then adapt to the way it looks and then think you want to do more because you miss that like novel new feeling of having big lips. You know what I mean? Getting rid of sunspots. This is cool because I'm actually going. I have a photo shoot with Karina with Coco King. I'm so excited on the 29th. And I'm going in on the 28th to see Sandra. She's going to dermaplane me. And I actually want to talk to her about getting some laser treatments to get rid of some sunspots that I have. So, specifically, I have sunspots here and then around here. And it's really from me popping pimples and then going in the sun, and it immediately turns dark. So we're going to try to do that. And then I also have a popped blood vessel right here, which really bothers me. I think that's a different laser, but she said she can do it. And yeah, so I'll keep you guys updated on that. I would like to film so you can kind of watch the process and see what my face looks like after and how it kind of bounces back. So that will happen soon. I think someone also asked about lasers, which again, I'll talk to Sandra when I see her about the different lasers. Specifically, there's the Morpheus 8, I think it's called, which combines microneedling with radio frequency. I guess it's the same kind of idea, but that's not going to get rid of sunspots. That's more anti-aging. But again, I just did the stem cell microneedling, so I feel like that's like Morpheus 8 on steroids. Okay, choosing an injector. I think you need to make sure that they're reputable. In Canada, it's pretty easy because you do have to be a nurse. You have to have a medical degree. I think that's important. And I also think their mindset is important. So, do they want to enhance natural beauty? Do they want to make you look like a Barbie? Do they want to just do anti aging prevention? And it's all about what you want. I personally like someone that doesn't push things on me. I like it. So if I have an idea and I go to Sandra, she's going to tell me, yes, this is great. No, you don't need it. That's a waste of money. Just very letting me lead the charge. Some people like to go and sit in front of someone and say, like, tell me what you would do to me. And that's totally fine too. I would just make sure that you vibe with them. And it's also totally okay to find someone on Instagram or find someone by a referral. Let's say you go see Sandra and you do a consult and you sit down with her and you decide that she's not for you. That's totally okay. You don't have to look at the injector and be like, oh, no, you're not for me. You can just be like, okay, this is a big deal. I'd have to think about it. Like, I'll let you know. And yeah, I don't know, interview them, see what the vibe is. I find Sandra Refined Image is she's all about enhancing natural beauty, and she is all about accepting what God gave you and just making you feel as beautiful and as special as you can with that. She also has amazing dermatologists there. She has amazing injectors that work under her. She has all the good lasers. It's just like it's a vibe when you go in there. You know what I mean? It's really fun. So I'll link her website below too if you're in the Ottawa area or if you ever come visit. She's amazing. Does cool sculpting work? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I think that we have the power and the control to create the bodies that we want. So I don't think we should reach for things like cool sculpting or liposuction or anything like that until we really, really have put in a lot of effort and discipline to kind of reach our goals. And that's not because I think those things are bad. It's because I think that we as humans get a lot of fulfillment, confidence, um, self assuredness from setting goals and reaching them. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe people do it, but yeah. Okay, this is gonna be the last question because I'm tired of hearing my own voice. Breast implants, above or beneath the muscle, before or after kids? This is very interesting. So I got breast implants for my pro debut in 2016. And at that time, because I was competing and I was going to get at such a low body fat, the doctor suggested that I go under the muscle. So I did that. I got a revision no, not last year. Geez. 2 years ago in 2021 because my implants had been under the muscle, and because I trained, the chest muscle actually contracted on top of the implant, and because of that, it would contract and it would push the implant down and out. So my implants started to migrate out and they were down. So I really didn't like the way they looked, especially ow, sorry, I'm cramping. Especially when I didn't have my clothes on. So, which honestly is what I care most about with my implants. I'm not like the type of woman that kind of like shows them off when I'm out. It's more for like me and my relationship. So, I got a revision, and what he did was he actually I think the pec muscle had not been cut completely. So he finished that, and then what he did was he calls it an internal bra, where he uses the scar tissue that had generated from my last surgery, which is completely normal. It's okay. Scar tissue isn't like, it's fine. He used it to create kind of a underwire bra type thing in my body to hold my implants in place. And I also went a little bit bigger, so there's more volume up top. Now that I'm not competing, if I were to go back and do this all again just for aesthetic purposes, not to compete, I probably would go over the muscle, to be honest. I don't think your body fat is ever going to be low enough that you're going to see the implant. I also think it's a less traumatic surgery, and there's less side effects in terms of training and having the implant under because it's over. So it's not going to matter. Now, there's also a lot of different things now in terms of like fat transfer and lifts where you don't actually have to put an implant in, depending on the amount of tissue that you have. So I would probably look more into that. Also, now that I'm like getting smaller and I like clothes and fashion and bikinis and stuff, I do kind of wish my boobs were a little smaller. So that's another thing. And before or after kids, the idea of me breastfeeding and then having these implants and then getting bigger on top of them is terrifying to me. I'm going to have like a size Z boob. And so I do kind of think it's probably best, if you're anywhere near the point where you're having kids or it's going to be in the near future, to just wait until after. Some people are totally fine. I was talking to my girlfriend Leah, and she breastfed and then she didn't need a lift. Like everything just like snapped back and she was great. Some people, I think there's a little drooping that happens, so they need a lift after. So I would probably wait till after, but that's just me. I think everyone has their own choices and their own wants and needs for their body and how they feel, and I have so much respect for that. And yeah. Okay, guys, that was a lot of talking for me. But I'm so glad to be back. I hope you guys are having an amazing August. I can't believe summer's almost over. We may or may not be going to a cottage tomorrow, so maybe looking forward to that. If we don't go, I'm looking forward to just chilling at home because we haven't been home for the last week. But yeah, that's that about that. Oh, I watched the Bachelorette finale. I don't know if anyone watches that still. I feel like nobody watches that show anymore, but I honestly really liked this season. I really liked Charity. I thought she was really authentic and genuine, and she was very strong and stuck to her values and her beliefs, and it was really nice to watch. I feel like I haven't seen a bachelorette like that in a long time. I'm a reality TV binger, if anyone doesn't know. So yeah, I love you guys. I hope you're out there giving her, and I hope you're leaning into love and connection. And I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And I can't wait to see you guys next week. There were a lot of questions that weren't about skincare that you guys asked, and a lot of them had to do with marriage and sex and Ian. So I do think next week I'll probably come on with Ian and we can answer those and have some juicy conversation. So again, I love you guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you guys next week.